Oh, hey, didn't see you there. I'm Keith, and this is Let's Read This Thing. The thing that we might be reading today, Lord of the Flies by William Golding. It's his 1954 debut novel, and it actually took a lot of work from William to get it published. He took it to several publishers who weren't that interested, and it took a lot of editing before he finally found somebody who would put it out for him. The plot of the novel is pretty simple. It's about a group of British boys who crash land on an island. They kind of expect rescue to be coming, and their top priority is rescue, but while they're waiting to be rescued, to just kind of have a good time. As time passes, they realize rescue is not coming right away, and what at first seemed to be paradise on this island with no adults, and you can do whatever you want, it kind of turns into, well, a literal inferno, where there are tragic consequences for some of the characters. Speaking of characters, our main characters are Ralph, who kind of becomes leader of the island when he's elected by the other boys. His frenemy, kind of rival slash competition slash bestie, at least at first, is the head of the choir, Jack. Then there is a boy whose name we never learn all the way. He's just referred to as Piggy. He pretty much gets body shamed the entire book. A kind of quiet, reflective kid named Simon, and a few others like the twins Sam and Eric, or the dark boy Roger, who seems to get some ideas once he realizes that there are no adults on the island, and some of those ideas aren't necessarily fun for the other boys. So all of these characters are symbolic. In fact, this book is considered an allegory. That means everything in it serves as a symbol of some kind. It is what it is, but it also symbolizes something greater. So Ralph is Ralph, but he might symbolize democracy or fairness. Piggy is Piggy, but he might symbolize rational thought or intelligence. So what's Golding trying to say through all of these references and symbols that he uses in Lord of the Flies? Well, he has a lot to say about a lot of things. So some of the obvious themes are loss of innocence, which he actually word for word name drops at the end of the book. What happens, or what is the process of growing up? What does it mean to become an adult? What does it mean to stop being a kid? Another big one is the nature of evil. Where does evil come from? Does evil come from outside of us? Does evil come from within us? Another thing that Golding kind of brings up is the idea of individuality versus conformity, where we see a lot of groupthink or mob mentality in the novel. There's a few times when characters are off on their own, and on their own individually, they seem to have a better grasp of the situation than when they are with the rest of the group. Another theme would be that of fear. Where does fear come from, and how does it motivate too many of our decisions in life? With Golding's kind of mythic imagery, he kind of creates another theme, that of original sin and sins of the fathers. The idea here comes from the story of Adam and Eve, where because Adam and Eve kind of messed up as early humans, we as human beings are kind of destined to also mess up no matter what. Very much related to this idea of original sin, or we're all tainted with sin, is the idea of sins of the fathers. We kind of suffer the consequences of the mistakes that our ancestors make. And we are kind of destined to make those same mistakes. It's a cycle that repeats itself over and over and over again. We'll see that kind of brought up here in the book as well, especially with certain characters like referencing their fathers or lack of fathers, and the idea of imitation, where some of the younger kids imitate some of the older kids. So what we're going to do is we're going to deep dive into this thing. We're going to take a look at these characters. We're going to take a look at these symbols chapter by chapter, do some sketch noting to kind of make this a little bit more interactive, to kind of synthesize this information as we go. So we probably should stop talking about it and start reading it. So let's read this thing. I'll see you in chapter 1, and hey, if you don't want to miss a video, do that thing that everybody else says, and don't forget to like and subscribe.